Hello, welcome to the Old School RuneScape weekly question and answer session. Here we have Mod John C, who just had my hand in his face by mistake, sorry about that, and I'm Mod Ash. Mod Matt K is with us, he's over there, and he's waving, and he says hello. So we're going to take a few questions from the stream that's coming up on the side, and I believe Matt has been gathering questions off Twitter all day. From you. I was trying to remember what the word was. That social network thing we're always using.
I only got 3,500 followers.
Only one starts with twer. I mean,
I was going to say Twitch, but yeah. that thing. And we'll try and take some of those as well. So what have we got? Eero says still no bigger couch. This is true. We regret that. And it doesn't help that some other teams gone on half-inch one or two of the computers we normally use. So Matt's been having to rebuild the set for us all afternoon. Okay, Godzilla says to add stock to the jewellery shops. Anyone got a view on that?
add stock to the jewellery shops?
Well, you know, there's always these shops like in Falador where you can sell gems to it if you just want a few coins, like you do, but it doesn't sell anything back because it's got a 0 stock by default.
So I didn't know that, and that sounds like the most ridiculous thing. A shop which doesn't actually sell anything, but hopes one day you might sell something to it, in the hope that somebody will then come and buy it.
I think in Al Kharid, back in Classic, there's this market stall which occasionally sells you one sapphire, and then you have to wait 5 minutes for it to come back, and that's all it ever does.
In relation to that, yeah, I guess we can put actual stock in an actual shop.
We can.
I think that would be unthinkable, having a shop with stock.
Yeah, why would you do that? In which case, we should balance it out by removing all stock from every shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a bug, I'll regret it.
I didn't think you'd say that. Okay, Barrow's Brothers a Slayer task, a question from Slayer's Disciple. That could be interesting. We could call them white or something.
They're pink.
Yes. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Why do you watch us? John wants John Wino top hat. A question from Eurydice Mist.
Oh yeah, I tweeted a picture of me in a top hat earlier, but my headphones didn't fit, so problems.
Yeah, he's got sunglasses today, but he's not wearing them because they're not very comfortable.
It's to stop these ridiculously bright lights that you don't see.
Yeah.
I'm not blind anymore.
They are stupidly bright.
And these are stupidly looking.
So, Drag Me to Hell, I think the name is, wants to know if we're bringing in any variation of rest. Now, I've seen that asked a lot of times. In fact, it comes up on this stream quite a lot of times. The answer is, we could if you didn't mind us reusing a graphic for the animation of sitting down, because we don't have the original ones. But whenever we've talked about rest, there's been a lot of people also saying don't do rest. Some people like selling energy potions, for example, and their views count too. So rest could happen, still not really clear whether people actually want it, who knows. Would we ever consider bringing the GE back? The inevitable question from ZIRQQ, and I saw quite a lot of you talking about it before we tuned in. GE. For everyone who says do the GE, there's also a lot of people who say don't do the GE, and we've seen quite a lot of them on this channel with you guys before the stream as well. I think if we were to poll the GE here and now, it wouldn't get 75%. And so maybe we could offer you something else, something that would not be the GE, but maybe help with the trading difficulties you're having, so you don't have to stand in World 1 trying to spam with everyone else. I'd like to be able to offer you something that would help you find people selling what you're looking for, help you find people buying what you're trying to get rid of, but without all the spamming. And if we get you something like that, or maybe an auction house, who knows, maybe that would get enough support, because some of the people who don't want the GE might be willing to accept this as a kind of compromise, and maybe it would get 75% after all. We'll be running surveys in the next week or so. The next poll that's coming up is about Slayer reward weapons. You may have seen the blog. We'll open that as a poll, I think, tomorrow, and let you vote on it over the weekend. But after that, we want to run a big survey listing a whole bunch of things we could do and see what your priorities are. Like, do you want us to focus on the trading problem? Or do you want us to focus on clan wars? Or would you like us to focus on achievement diaries? We know there's a lot of demand for those. We'd like you to be able to tell us what the priorities are. So we're going to run a survey to see what our next focus should be, and whatever comes high on that, we can put in the next 75% or bust poll, and see if it gets enough support. So that's where we're going with Clan Wars for Oki36 and the Grand Exchange for the rest of you. And another thing that's will turn up, I think, in the very near future is bank tabs. Helena Basket was just asking about that. Yeah, I've put in a lot of work on a prototype of bank tabs, and it's got to a point where I'm now confident we can do them without needing to wait on more engine work. I did run into something that I couldn't do without engine support, in fact, but we got the command we needed from Mod Philip, so we should be all systems go now, and I hope we can offer them to you in the very near future. Okay, anyone want to take a question about... I saw a question about the new whip, for example.
Yeah, I think you're
What was the question? Because I missed it.
Whether it should degrade.
Yeah, it's been going back and forth. A lot of people were asking for some kind of sync for whips to take some out of the game to increase their price because a lot more people are slaying. So this became like a popular sort of idea. You'd like to see how it does in the poll. There's been another concept come up by John Gotti, I think, on the forums. So there's other options. If it fails the poll, it's not the end of the world. We'll come up with something else. Yeah, there's the thread up in general. Just give us your feedback there.
Question from A. Bryce and also from Jin about game filter. The good news there is that in today's update we got a bit of work from the engine team to change how game feedback messages are sent to the client. What this does is it means we can now have different types of message. We can classify them as normal message or spam message or challenge message for some future minigame we could one day write. And that will be very useful because it means we now can do the game spam filter thing that you've been asking for, and we can put that on a poll in the very near future. So hopefully that will sort the problem for you, because there really are a lot of messages every time you eat food or every time you go near a dragon with a potion in effect. Yeah, that's coming.
Snorlax just asked whether corp's possible when we get an artist. We've actually done 2 interviews this week for potential artists, and one of the interview questions I posed to both artists were, if you were to make a boss, which would it be? Some of them described their personal idea of a boss they'd like to do from scratch, but both of them were in almost agreement that they'd like to do a corp, and that's perfect for us because we'd also like to do corp. At the moment, I think the best I can give you is a beige Jad, and every week we tell you the same thing: beige Jad looks horrific. But I'm really keen on corp. It's the boss I really want to get into the game, and both the artists we've interviewed so far, I believe we have potentially one more to go. So far, the 2 out of the 3 at least have said they would love to model a Jad for us. A corp for us. So yeah, right now it's looking positive if we actually hire one of them. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, I guess.
Sloppy Slayer was asking to explain the Barrow's kill count and how it works. Basically, your kill count doesn't actually matter in terms of getting a Barrow's reward from the chest, as long as you kill all 6. I think 11 is the magic number.
So yeah, I had to explain this to Matt earlier because I think Matt had a bit of trouble with this, or at least people were asking Matt on the stream. In order to get a Barrow's piece, you need to kill that Barrow's brother. So if you want Darok pieces, if you don't kill Darok, you won't get Darok pieces. So being there, 6 brothers? 6 brothers.
And an uncle.
and the uncle. Your chance of receiving a Barrow's piece is greatly increased the more Barrow's brothers you kill. If you don't kill Gathan, you won't get Gathan pieces. If you miss out, or if you only kill Gathan, you can only get Gathan pieces, but your chance of getting them isn't as high as it would be if you had killed all the Barrow's bosses, or brothers, sorry. Kill count doesn't actually contribute to making a Barrow's piece more frequent or more common from the chest. That only works for runes, Bolt Racks, Dragon Med Helm, and loop half keys and tooth harbour keys and all the other general crap that you get out of a chest. I think 11 or 14, between 11 and 14 are the key numbers, because that's the point where the runes you are given are sufficient and the efficient amount to have got. The more you get, obviously, the better runes you might receive, but then you're spending your time killing monsters in Barrows for maybe less than 1k's worth of runes and bolt racks. So getting between 11 and 14 is the ideal number, really. Making sure you kill all Barrow's brothers, but getting 10k kill count, which is the cap, won't increase your chance of getting anything decent. You might walk away with nothing, so that's basically how Barrow's works. It's a horrific system.
I really couldn't follow that code very well at all.
I think I got on with it.
So for Matty, who was asking about whether the Ring of Wealth helps in Barrows, the answer is it does not.
No.
The Ring of Wealth is really not very useful up until today's update, when you can get it to teleport you places. I think the places that use it are, well, anything that drops a gem is more likely to drop a gem rather than dropping nothing. And instead of a gem, it might turn out to be something rare like the Dragon Spear, because you want that here, or a half key or whatever, but it's not very useful. It's also used on Shades of Mortarton. If you open those chests, it gives you a better chance of better loot. If you kill the evil chicken, it gives you a chance of better feathers, or more feathers. And that really does seem to be about it for the Ring of Wealth. I don't even know why I put in the extra feathers from the evil chicken when I wrote that in the first place, but that's what it does. Okay.
There's a couple of people asking for more bank space. We can always add more bank space.
Yeah, one of the things that's been holding us back there is that up until recently, whenever you shuffle items around your bank, there was a bit of code running to say, now move this item down, move this item down, move this item down, and it had to execute on every bank slot all the way through your bank. So if we suddenly built up the bank to like 2,000 slots, that code would have to run on every slot, and there was a pretty high chance that eventually we hit some magic limit that we wouldn't know was coming, where it would say, that's too much code, crash, and kick you offline. I've done that to the bank before, I don't want to do it again. So we've been quite cautious with bank space so far, because we knew there was likely to be this problem somewhere down the line. Now we've had an engine update. It was released today, even though it doesn't quite do anything yet. We've got a more efficient way of moving items up and down your bank when you rearrange items. So I'm optimistic we now can safely add you more bank space. Again, we can't go completely overboard because we are likely to hit this limit at some point, but it's worth a try. Now I'd like to take the question from Wiggled, been asking about switching. I've seen that a few times from Wiggled, sorry about the delay there. We're sat down with Mod Philip yesterday, I think it was, and he was trying to work on it again. Fortunately, we've had quite a lot of people sending us videos. Thanks to all of you who sent us videos. It really is a lot more helpful when we can see what you're doing, rather than just hearing, it's broken. Yeah, we know it's broken, show us. Yeah. So thanks for all those videos. And Philip actually managed to reproduce it. It was the fastest he's ever clicked, he said. But what he's done is change what happens if you click and drag an item when you didn't mean to. So what was happening is if you click and drag very, very quickly, it was treating it as a click here, except the item wasn't here. There might be something else here. The item's here. So now he's trying to make the engine treat click smear as a click here where the item started, which means it's that much more likely to be a click on the item rather than on the empty space where the item nearly went. I'm hoping that'll make a difference for you. We're going to give it a test this week, and if it works out and we don't think anything else has gone screwy from it, we'll give it to you in next week's update. Jobs in Jira.
Awesome.
Jace just asked me how bounty hunters are going, or bounty hunter creators are going. Over the past 2 days, I've gone a bit mad with just doing pretty much anything that comes to mind. Just a bit mad, yeah. So bounty hunter I started doing yesterday just to see how much of it I could get done. The same goes with a target system, which might work in Wilderness, might work in PvP Worlds, might even work in the bounty hunter system. I was just seeing if I can get a target system working. So far, bounty hunter seems promising so far. At the moment, I still haven't yet decided where I'm going to put it, but I'm not going to commit too much time to developing it if it's not going to pass a poll. I'm just seeing so far if the foundation is there for me to actually get it working. Target system, having a little trouble with, but that's nothing we can iron out later on. And to top it off today, I created a really cheap version of Titanfall called Titan Brawl, using Steel Titans or Iron Titans from our archive. Basically works the same way as Titanfall, but you're killing players and AI, and you have a chance to be a Titan and run around with, a much higher hit rate and hit chance and whatnot. Awesome. Yeah. So Bounty Hunter, it looks like it's going very well. I'm still going to be exploring it, but like I said, I'm not going to put too much time into developing it, because if it does fail a poll, then that's my time wasted. So we'll wait for a later date. I'll keep tweeting the progress though as we go.
There was a question asking for the range strength of the black chinchompers. I think it's 30 you gave
yes,
them? Yeah. Red chinchompers are 15. If you could max hit with 21 with red, you can hit 25 with black. So they are worth getting.
Yes, and for KZS2PID, that's an interesting name you've got there, asking about black chinchompers being released before death. That's the way chinchompers have, in fact, always worked. The red ones, the NAF ones, and now the black ones. We're totally up for changing it so that if you drop them in the wilderness, they fall to the floor and people can pick them up, so that you can't just grief your PKer by getting rid of them before you die. But we're going to put that to a poll because this is the way the game has always worked, and it's something that we think we should consult people on before we just go changing it. Especially as there have been quite a few people in the forum thread discussing it, saying they don't want it changed. Skillers, for example. So yeah, we're going to poll that one.
So a lot of people bring up Dragon Defenders and asking when we're actually going to get around to doing them. I believe we'll probably look at doing them when we actually have a graphics artist to give us a new defender. We probably could just recolour a Rune Defender red, but I don't believe that's not the best we can do. We can do much better than that. So I think we're going to wait for a graphics artist so he or she can make us a new defender, and then we can take it from there. We'll probably introduce it the same way as the existing defenders, but again, if that's not what people want, we can look at doing it another way. But it's not right now. I think we'll wait till we've got a graphics artist.
Kenny Giez on RS wants to know if we'd bring out Spirit Shields with the Corp. I think we had a discussion about that earlier.
Yeah, we did. I think when Corp came out, the Spirit Shields were kind of worth it because there were no PK, or there wasn't any PKing at the time, was there? And and there was a few other bosses in the game which kind of made them necessary. Right now, there isn't very many things in the game which require Spirit Shields, at least Spirit Shields with the same stats and same effects as they had before. So I think if we were going to release the shields, we'd make them look the same, or we'd try our best to make them look the same, but we wouldn't give them the same effects they had before. So Divine wouldn't reduce 30% if applicable of damage, reducing it from your prayer, I believe. It was quite an insane effect.
Yeah, I remember trying to update it for the Constitution update when they made me write that, and it was complicated.
Yeah, so something like that. But I'm mainly after Corp for the thrill of killing Corp, and I know a lot of other people are as well. A lot of the top PVMers that have moved over to Old School and are trying to do the same things they did in RS3 before, obviously RS3, in Old School are shouting at me to try and get Corp back. And Corp is something that I really do want back. But a lot of people are saying no to the Spirit Shields. If you don't want Spirit Shields, we won't do Spirit Shields, as easy as that. If we were to do Spirit Shields, we'll have them look the same, but we won't make them the same as they were before.
Yeah, the sheer amount of damage absorption stuff going into RuneScape in those later days is, well, completely alien to Old School. So, Frisky Fuzzy has been asking several times about the ZMI altar. The answer is, yep, could do that if that's what you want. We've been doing other things instead so far, but if the ZMI is what you'd all like, then ZMI is what you can have. It shouldn't take too long to dig out the archive and install. But there's also probably going to be quite a lot of people who would feel
Big
it's...
Matt's calling me.
Bye. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's also going to be quite a few people who wouldn't like that change for runecrafting, and I'm sure the microphone like that. What else we got? Augury and Rigor. Didn't we poll those?
We did, but from the minigame reward shop, and they almost passed. We think you want them, just not from a minigame reward. We could have them as some kind of reward from Dan's new bounty hunter type thing, or drop for even one of the wilderness monsters as like a tradable scroll.
Yep. So yeah, if you want them, you clearly didn't want them from that, but suggest where you'd like them instead, and we'll see what we can do about it. And for the player who said Putin, Augury and Rigor, I'm not sure how Mr. Putin comes into it. We probably don't need that.
Yeah, we could get into quite a lot of discussion about that, but I think
yeah.
we'll save that for another stream.
Yeah.
Clan Wars coming up a lot. Do you want to take that one?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be running a big survey in the next week or so to, don't mind me, to see what your priority is for the future updates. And Clan Wars will definitely be on it. If you feel that's a thing that should be at the top of the list, then at the top of the list it can go. If you'd like us to instead focus on quests, achievement diaries, a trading system, more treasure trail rewards to make them more worth doing, you'll have the chance to tell us what the priority should be, and perhaps Clan Wars will be it. Certainly, that's the one I expect to see doing well.
That's what I'll be voting for.
That or trading. Anyway, I'm glad you like my cough, by the way. The guys get really puzzled by some of the noises from my desk.
He does make quite a few.
Yeah, well...
yeah, it's just caused a massive stir in the stream.
Yes.
Inked, he keeps asking to fix the TV timers. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing wrong with them, but if you think it's a bug, drop me a bug report from the Report of Bugs thread in Old School General on the forums, and I'll have a look.
As I recall, the teleblock timer, it's meant to be 5 minutes, or 2 if they've got Protect from Magic on.
That's correct. I think it depends whether you hit 0 or if it hits 1 as well.
Probably would. It's the kind of thing they do. Should we... and here comes Modreach again.
It's like Matt was having technical trouble.
Warren 90 wants more hairstyles, including mine. This is mine, get your own. Soul Wars has been coming up a lot, although I think it was Divardar was saying that Soul Wars gave people too much combat XP too quickly and it ruined the game. Well, there's always going to be a bit of a divide on that kind of thing. We may not be able to import Soul Wars as it was, like we don't have the graphics, and we're still not in a position to just convert them over or tell an artist to recreate them from scratch exactly like the other game has. But if you wanted a minigame like Soul Wars, then we could try and put one together for you with the same mechanics. That said, the discussion about whether it was giving combat too quickly relates to something that was being discussed earlier about it before we logged in, about pest control, where there's been people saying bring back pest control as it was a few months before August 2007, where there was no shields on the portals and you could just rush in, complete the game in a few seconds, get XP really, really quickly before noobs turned up and slowed the game down for you by making it harder. It's something we could technically do, but a minigame that gives really, really fast XP like that, I'm surprised that's what you all want. So let us see what you really feel about it, rather than just seeing the odd isolated request, and we can certainly give it some thought.
Seated. Oh no.
I was going to say he's been shouting it for a long time, so I was going to bring it up. Marisor, I might have got that wrong. Has been shouting Motherlode Mine at us, which is obviously the content that won the PDC competition recently.
It did.
I actually created a test stream for it today, and I think development will start either at the start of next week or at the end of this week. But it's now ready, and we're now moving towards starting on that. So I can't really give you a deadline, really, because I don't really know how long this is going to take. But
we're going to do Easter, because Easter, of course, can't slip. It has to be out before Easter. The Motherlode Mine is the next on the list, kind of after that. Once, of course, we've delivered the Slayer bosses and their potential new reward weapons that you're voting on over this weekend.
Yeah. So, obviously, yeah. So we've started Motherlode Mine and we'll move forward, and I'll give you updates, or we'll give you updates as and when there's something to update you with.
Jason Parkest has a nice question about how the attack level works. So, what's going on in there is every time you try to hit a monster with, say, a melee weapon, you roll a die, the monster rolls a die, and whoever rolls higher wins. If you win, then you hit the monster for a random amount of damage, which is calculated off your strength level. If the monster wins, then you splash off and hit a 0. Now, the question is, how big are these dice? Or dice. I'm not sure about the word. Your dice is bigger if you've got a very high attack level. The monster's dice is bigger if it's got a really high defense level. So if it's got a really high defense level and you've only got a puny attack level, then you're like rolling a random number up to 5,000. The monster's rolling a random number up to 50,000. Obviously he's likely to get a bigger number than you are, but just occasionally you might get a blow in. A shot in. If on the other hand you've got a really high attack level, like 99 attack, then better chance that you're going to roll a high number, and if the monster's got a low defense level, then he'll probably roll a low number, and then you're more likely to do damage each time. When you drink a potion that buffs your attack, you're effectively getting your dice bigger for the occasion until it comes back down again. And if something reduces the monster's defense, like the curse spell, for anyone who uses that thing, that reduces the size of his dice, so he's less likely to hit a big number, and you're more likely to be able to deal damage to him each time. In melee, your attack level controls how big your dice is. In ranging and magic, then it's your ranged and magic skills that do it. So that's roughly how attack works. I hope you like it.
GGG Snorlax asks what the crackable drop besides the tentacle, which is proposed in the Slayer development blog. I think we gave it the full trident, and it's got a fairly generous drop table, and also got another new item that I'm sure one of you will discover at some point. We had fun as well, I think that.
It's not particularly difficult to kill, but when you consider it's not an actual boss, it's a Slayer boss, I don't particularly want to make it too difficult and then find that it's not efficient to kill or it's too difficult to kill. So it's got quite a generous drop table, and it's not hard, but it's also not particularly easy. The more people you take, obviously, the better you'll do. So
It's just to give you an alternative, really. Say if you get back-to-back Kraken tasks, you think, I can't be bothered with that, I'll just go kill the boss instead.
yeah. It's potentially quite likely that you can kill maybe 10, 15, probably even up to 20. I mean, you're probably going to put shame to that estimate when you try and do it anyway, but you probably have to do at least 10 per invent, so chances are you'll now go and do 50 per invent, or even an entire Slayer task. But
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, if you do, so be it. You know, it's just a bit of a change, really.
Son of Lucian was asking whether we do more prayer books, like for the other gods, Armadil and Bandos and the like. I think you've been collecting ideas for Treasure Trail updates.
Yeah, that's top of the list, actually, to come. If we do a Treasure Trail update, those pages will come and the books will just be added to Jossic, and we'll give some kind of lore backstory to it. Fairly straightforward job, really.
Cool. I'm seeing a lot of people shout full screen. Now, up until recently, we've been saying things like that aren't possible, but it turns out Matt went to an off-site meeting with some of the team directors to get an idea of how teams can better support each other. And something that came up on their meeting was the potential to get us what is effectively full screen. Now, obviously, there are ways of achieving full screen by using things like magnifier or changing your screen resolution, which aren't full screen, and it can play with your resolution a little bit, and the settings are a little off. What I think was being proposed is we can increase the aspect ratio without ruining the resolution. So that way you can have full screen,
Or a maximised window.
or a maximised window without people are saying no HD graphics. This isn't an HD graphics, this is just simply enlarging the screen. I think it's been proposed that this is possible, and I think we're going to investigate it, which means that you can play RuneScape in an effective full screen without worrying about your mouse being big and your resolution being screwed, which ruins obviously the rest of your computer screen. So that's something that's going to be investigated very soon, I imagine.
At the moment, the game client is about 765 by 512-ish. Effectively, this would just blow it up. So you'd still have about 765 pixels, but they'd be big pixels. So the thing just takes up more of your screen without having any more detail, and probably not using any more processor on your computer either, which might be useful for you.
Yeah. Mohid Q says third age weapons from the Clue Scrolls. Yes, they're on the list as well. Some kind of, we'll have one for each class, I think.
I hope so.
Provided we can have someone model them something suitably awesome, so it won't be Den.
Wildy Boy wants
No offence.
pizza for 07. We in fact gave you quite a lot of anchovy pizzas from the Wilderness Monsters drops, so you should be doing alright for that now.
Yeah, they've got loads.
Yeah.
Someone just said Solomon's a riot. I look forward to your riot.
I think I'll take the riot, thanks.
Yes.
Apparently,
Kazunik wants to know whether the new minigame shop passed. It did pass. Unfortunately, all the things we offered to put inside it did not pass. And rather than offering you an empty shop with nothing in it, we thought we'd just hold back until you'd got some more ideas and wanted them for your minigame rewards instead.
RB Robert D says we want noodles. Okay.
That's nice for you.
Pancakes from Clovis. I
Well,
like
that's
pancakes.
more like it.
Yes.
We can probably model a pancake because there's an option for generate a circle, and that's a pancake.
yeah, that would be pretty easy, to be honest.
One, we do have frying pans already from the RFD chest, and the cooking emote, I think, you're pretty much making a pancake.
Yes.
So, 99 cooking pancakes confirmed.
A player called Ibram Pride wants to know about gravestones for disconnects. It's worth noting that in late 2007, when gravestones first came out, they wouldn't have helped in the case of a disconnect anyway, because the gravestone was lost when you logged out, and it couldn't remember who you were anymore. It wasn't until years later that they were able to get some engine updates into the game to let gravestones remember you after you log back in again and protect your stuff properly. So, also, whenever we talk about gravestones, there's also been a flood of people saying don't do gravestones. People should take a risk when they go to a dangerous place rather than just having something spoon-feed their items back to them safely with no risk. So, bit of a debate there to be had among you guys.
Just saw someone shout a minute ago, where's the Chaos Ellie pet?
Ha.
If you look at my Twitter, actually, I've tweeted a picture of it.
Oh, you've done it already?
Yeah, I've done it.
Yep.
Well, Ash, I didn't realise it had even passed the poll.
Oh, it did, yes. 77%.
It was only when Ash said to me, we need to
been
make
at
a...
work this week at all?
I've been focusing on other things. Ash just turned around to me and said, Carousel pet, you need to make one. Like, oh my god, it passed. 2 minutes later, I have a working Carousel Elemental pet, and it follows me around. Pretty awesome. It's a little cloud bumping up and down with his little tentacles. So if you look at my Twitter, I've tweeted a picture of it. So,
Someone suggested we can make it like those trolls they released a couple of years ago, that you could feed it an item and its name would become the name of that item. If we could do that, I'd be up for polling it.
That would be a good money sink.
Do not have the engine feature that allowed that, but I would like it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, unfortunately. But yeah, no, it'd be a good money sink, I guess. I saw a few people put party hats in those trolls and dungeoneering.
Yeah, I put a red mask in it.
It doesn't really have the same ring in 07.
No, not really.
Still, you could walk around with a dragon full helm following you. That is not every day you get to say that. So.
That's true.
Yes. Now that would be very rare.
I've seen RuneSpan pop up from, I think, just one person spamming RuneSpan.
Leave.
No. RuneSpan was actually my favourite update of 2012.
You can leave as well.
But I was already 99 on crafting by that point. I just really enjoyed it. But no to RuneSpan. I don't think people are prepared to undervalue or undermine an already quite slow skill that they work quite hard for. So no.
There was a player asking a moment ago, I'm afraid I didn't get his name or her name, asking what about items kept on death and their value? Are we working on making it so that the game chooses the items that really have the most value to keep? The answer is, Old School doesn't know the value of anything. Item prices are set by players, not by Jagex. We don't have any control over it, and we don't have a system that's automatically tracking their values whenever you trade them to each other. So, and it was pretty controversial when we did get one back in 07. So at the moment, no. Items that you keep on death are having to work off their out value, because that's the only number the game's got for them. Fortunately, we've got that screen. It's on the worn items panel. You click the thing with a picture of a skull and crossbones, and it shows you what will be kept on death, so you can at least plan it in advance and not lose anything unexpected.
I mean, we can change their out value so you get to protect things more, but that's not.
We do.
Yeah, but doing it for everything, one, would take us for an age, and two, it's not really in the whole spirit of Old School. If you want to take a Berserker ring, then you're going to have to risk it.
Plus, can you imagine the poll where we offer to change the value of each item individually? That'd be a very long poll.
I'm seeing a lot of people shout bot nuke. Right now, one of the bot busting guys is actually being assigned to do this quite hands-on, quite full-time. So at the moment, he's surging through a lot of bots right now. I don't know what the update is on the numbers that have gone out of the game recently, but the numbers have definitely increased. He's definitely powering through them. And so the reports of fake false bans are also cropping up, and it's quite entertaining when you consider that, according to most players who claim a false ban, every single perm ban ever in RuneScape is an accident, and they're innocent, much like everybody in prison's innocent. But no, he is working through. He's very, very efficient. He's very fast, and he's very accurate. So bots are being dealt with, and they're being dealt with quite heavily right now.
Autocast of God spells, you can autocast 2 of them. We can always add something for the Saradomin strike to even out the playing fields. I think it was suggested a couple of months ago we could add it to the Arim staff. We would actually give it some kind of use. But yeah, sure, if you've got any other ideas, let us know.
I rewrote the autocasting interface months ago, probably for Nightmare Zone or something, so that it's now very easy to add different spells to different staffs.
Staff of the Dead, I'd imagine it was for.
Yeah, I might have done it for that. Did a lot of stuff. So, Crash Ties had a question about the Explorer ring. That, if I recall, came from the Lumbridge Achievement Diary in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have the graphic for it. At the moment, we can't convert the graphic from other RuneScape into Old School, and we haven't yet got an artist to recreate it for us. But I think Achievement Diaries is likely to be a popular thing. We'll see how popular when we run that survey. But if Achievement Diaries turns out to be something you guys want, we'd like to do a whole batch of them, not just the Vrock one, which came next from August 2007, but Vrock, Lumbridge, maybe further afield. We'd like to make a proper sized update out of it rather than just one small diary with one small reward at the end. And the Explorer ring, the Ardoin cloaks that Perm's asking about, they could totally be among the rewards if you don't mind what the graphics look like.
Alright, I'm going away now, and Matt's going to come in and ask these guys some of your questions from Twitter.
I was praying Matt pushed enter there by accident.
So was I.
So to communicate with us, Matt types in the chat box that you're all typing in.
He took his
And
sunglasses.
I was really hoping that the message Matt just typed would accidentally go out there. But
I made a typo.
yeah, you made a typo and then
Yeah.
you decided to correct yourself by intentionally
typo.
typing it wrong.
Have a cushion.
I need these from Mod Paul M, who set up the stream for us.
Oh,
Maybe.
so
He was going to take them away.
there you go.
Okay.
You can have the cushion.
Hi everybody. So the normal thing we do is get all your questions from Twitter, and I'm going to ask you all these Twitterish questions that people have asked, and I think we've covered some of them already. So if you have, just let me know. So Numeric Matter says something about. Here we go. What do you plan to add after Clan Wars Bounty Hunter and the trading update?
I guess
What do you
whatever.
like?
I guess whatever you want, really. I'm keen to
Achievement
start
diary, yeah.
exploring achievement diaries and quests.
Yes.
I'm also keen in exploring bosses and mini games. I think quests and bosses are quite high on my personal priority list, but again, it depends on everybody else. It also depends on you. So, I guess whatever comes, just whatever, really.
I mean, the poll or the survey that's coming out next week will hopefully give us some direction of what to do after these easy questions, I think,
Yeah.
which will be very interesting for us to look at, I think.
Yeah, I liked it last time we had one of those.
Yes, it's going to be good. Right, 11.6 Legit says, how about a spot in the wilderness that will restore your energy rate rapidly? Can do.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we can do it now. Yeah.
The prayer one, I mean, nice to hear back from the clans actually, see if their prayer one's useful to them and see if they could use a run one as well. And where it will be as well, would be nice.
I don't know if the clans have noticed, but I did enable the prayer restoration at Demonic Ruins in free-to-play worlds, because I know it's quite a popular clan area.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Lots of death there, it's good. Numeric Matter asks again, have you had a discussion about the Grandmaster quest? Did you talk about that? Ubermaster quest.
We bring it up, almost weekly, but it never really goes anywhere because we've got so many other things to focus on. We do have an idea for a Grandmaster quest. I have currently been talking to some very old, very popular, very well-known YouTubers who are keen to take their ideas and make them part of this Grandmaster Ubermaster quest that we've been planning. So, we're going to still talk to them about that and otherwise see where it goes. But if we don't end up doing that, I think Ash has confirmed that Path of Gloffery is in the archive. We can offer you Path of Gloffery if that's all you want.
Ooh, and Land of the Goblins.
And Land of the
Yeah, that's
Goblins,
what you want.
because that's quite an iconic quest, apparently.
Yeah, you get more goblins in it, which is
your,
good.
your avatar comes from there for the forums. So,
Well,
I guess it's quite important.
Oh, is he Zanuck?
No, he's not
No,
Zanuck. He's just
no.
some random goblin.
Random goblin from
Oh, one of those.
the hole,
Hope it's
yeah.
hope it's not Zanuck. But a lot of people are shouting who they think it is. Some of you are already right, but no, we're going to investigate that closer to the time. But I'm really looking forward to the quest. I would really like to write my own quest.
Sweet. Dr. Pepper 1 says, can you poll making helms, hats and maybe capes available in Castle Wars?
I wouldn't mind making any hat available in Castle Wars as long as you've still got a cloak that makes it clear which team you're on.
The Castle Wars community really don't like that idea.
Well, then we needn't do it.
No, I posed it to the GBU KMD who came in, who's part of a really, really popular, long-standing Castle Wars clan, and they were very, very adamant that it was not a good idea to take away helm or add helms to Castle Wars.
Fine by me.
Yeah.
Means, of course, no barrow sets. People have asked
True.
for whether we could enable the barrow set bonuses without needing the helmet.
That's exactly what it says here as well. It says he wants to use Void and Darek in there
That'd be
So-
slightly OP.
at the same time. Jailed asks, can a clue scroll log be added?
The difficulty is going to be storing that amount of data
Yeah.
because we can't store it in string format. The engine never supported that. I think even RS3 can't do that. And we can't have an infinitely sized inventory remembering all the items you've ever had in duplicate form. Because there might be any number of items turning up in it eventually. So no, I don't think we can do that. We can remember how many clue scrolls you've done, which some people have asked for. We can even have a high score table for it if at the rate things are going with the web team. But I don't think we can be able to list the items, not in a permanent form like that.
Cool. Right, Ekran AI. This chap here with this
That's
name.
a great name he's got.
Yeah, he says, question for Ash. Oh no, you've answered this one. It was about bank tabs. Sorry.
Shot down.
Yeah. So that's answered already. I'll read the question before I ask it this time. Right, Chief Joe Boot says, on your last stream you talked about a survey about the GE. Will alternatives be on the survey or only the GE like RS3s? Now, what we're going to do for the survey is we're going to ask about everything, not just the G. We're going to ask you what the most important things are, whether the trading solution is important, whether a new quest is important, whether all the PvP stuff we can put in is important, and anything else that we see that you think's important, whether we can ask you how important it is to you. After that, then we'll take your ideas away, and then we will start coming up specifically for the trading solution. I think we'll come up with 3-4 different options. We then have to go and talk to the engine guys, see what is deliverable, what is possible, what's viable to do, and then we can come to you with these are the solutions we've got. Maybe even have time scales on them. You can have this take a couple of months, this might take 6 months, or this idea might take 3 years, and then you guys can decide on how you want to proceed from there. I think that's probably the way we aim to go forward with it. So more information will be coming across there. Now onto that one, nice and succinctly. E36M says they want a second Castle Wars map.
I guess. I mean, again, most things that involve a change to Castle Wars, we usually always run past the.
Usually always.
We always run past the run past the Castle Wars community, because they are quite a solid community. They're very dedicated to Castle Wars, and that's generally all they tend to do. They know how Castle Wars works inside out, and if we change that, we then lose a lot of people from Castle Wars, which means when some stranger, when some random wants to go play Castle Wars, they often find there's nobody there. So to keep Castle Wars alive, we tend to try and keep as many people as happy as we can, and Castle Wars community is generally that. They seem very, very against any changes going forward, but again, we can negotiate with them, and we can find out what their feelings are towards things and spicing it up. I don't see them being against a map, but again, I guess I'll consult them and we'll see what they say.
Yeah, get them involved in making a map, and then
yeah. I mean, they did say they'd love to have 5x5 or 5v5, 10v10, 20v20 sort of team modes in Castle Wars, which would be really, really nice if it's possible.
Yeah, the difficulty about instancing Castle Wars to allow this kind of thing is that the thing's kind of big, and we can't make an instance that large to handle the surface and the dungeon bit at the same time, and that's really, really held us back a very long time.
Yeah.
In fact, RS3, they wanted to do it and they couldn't either.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have a chat to them and see what they think.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so who's next? Kids I'm Slaying says, can we purchase the option to be assigned JAD tasks? I think they ask that every week, don't they?
Yes, and the answer is still yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to underline this doubly, and I'm going to put it into our...
I think it would be a good idea if we
Thing.
had a Slayer Master with a specific option to assign you bosses.
Yes.
Because Jad's, well, I wouldn't particularly call Jad a boss, but...
He's kind of bossy.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't... You could argue such, but yeah, I'd like to have boss assignments. Really.
Boss assignment, I'll write that down next to it, and I'll stick something in our...
Because you could argue
to
that
think about.
Grador is a goblin, I guess. You could say Krilla's a demon. Avian's task, you could kill Kriara. I don't know, you can't really kill Icenes, so...
Grador and Ziliana don't come into any Slayer category of which I'm aware, but the other ones fortunately do. And yeah, the idea of having a boss challenge...
Yeah, bears. Callisto.
You can kill...
Yeah.
It is a Slayer target.
Yeah, I think you can already kill Callisto for a target.
Yeah. Venenatis is a spider for Slayer purposes. Scorpius is certainly a scorpion.
I would put Grador in the goblin category, but I wouldn't have a clue where you put Ziliana. She is an Icene, but...
We could put it down as a bird. She's got wings.
So you could kill Kriara or you could Kriara. Yeah. I think you can get seagulls as a task, so why not?
Yeah, birds is a task. I don't know where people mostly do it, but I used to do it at Ports of Rim on the seagulls.
Someone just pointed out Grador isn't... I think it's Urg.
He's an Urg, yes.
Yeah, Urg, but you don't really get Urg tasks.
If we gave you a category of Urg, you just have to kill Grador over and over and over again.
Or maybe do Zoga Flesh Eaters once. So...
Or you could do 5 bosses and let them choose any boss they like.
Oh,
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, if we call it a category of bosses, then we could just kill the Calphite Queen, kill Grador, kill Krill.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea.
Yeah.
We can go somewhere with this.
Yes, right, I'll add that to the thing when we get back upstairs. Okay, who else got? Smudge the Pro, he's asking about the Barrow's chances of getting stuff. He says, what affects the chances of getting double and triple loot? Is it possible to get quadruple loot?
To be honest with you, I don't actually know. Can you get all 6? John's saying you can get all 6 in one chest. I'm waiting for a statistic.
16,154.
1 in 16,154 chance, I believe John just said, of getting all 6 Barrows pieces in one chest. I haven't actually checked the code because the code is quite ancient, quite bad, and I was very frustrated when I had to make the script that allowed Matt to do the live stream he did last night.
That could be incorrect.
John's just telling me that statistic's wrong, so we'll come back on this one. I'll tweet the answer out later if I can find it.
One in lots, put it that way.
I don't. Kill count doesn't affect obviously you getting two in one chest. That can just happen. It's just as likely to happen as it would be for 3, I imagine. So we'll have a look later on, I guess.
Calculator out now.
I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah.
John's
John's
No.
tweeting.
Okay, he's asking somebody else for the answer. OSRS Daniel says, what did you guys previously work on at Jagex before joining Old School?
I was and still am the bug abuse lead for Jagex, so I was doing a lot of bug abuse screening for RS3 content prior to it going out. So my job was just to basically make sure nobody could exploit it. Now I do that, and I do Old School. I was QA before Old School.
In 2004, I was in the customer support team as a forum curator. Then I moved to the quality assurance team and did bug tracking, reading your reported bugs and looking for them and testing the fixes. Then from 2005 to, well, the present day, I was a content developer. I spent a while being the uploader, and since then I wrote the Swan Song Quest, My Arm's Big Adventure, Love Story, pretty much anything with a wise old man in, except for Garden of Tranquility. I disclaimed that. Carnelian Rising was my last quest. I wrote the Polypore Dungeon, I wrote the Bank Pin, I helped take the Wilderness out, helped take the Wilderness back. I did the big random event rewrite in 2009, that was something I was really quite proud of, to be honest. Yeah, I've done quite a lot of content over the years. It gets a bit boring if I start listing it, to be honest.
I was quite expecting this to go on for a long time because you've been here for a long time. It's a lot of content. I mean, I probably couldn't list all the content I've done, but then I haven't made aside from what I've made on Old School, I've QA'd and broken a lot of content. But but yeah.
Yes, I suppose I'll tell them what I did as well. I started in 2005, and I started again in customer support as Ash did. Then I went to community management, and I worked with all the PMods and all that sort of stuff for quite a while. I then worked with the high-level forums, the high-level players, and the clan leaders as well. Sort of launched those 2 initiatives there. Went over to work for War of Legends for a bit. Came back and did more PMod stuff and some other stuff that I can't remember because it was far too long ago. Then I went and managed the publishing community. So that's all the Ace of Spades stuff. That's War of Legends, Carnage, and whatever other games there were there. And then I came back here. I've probably missed out half a dozen bits, but you know that's what I did. And John, what did you do before Old School?
I was just awesome.
There we go.
I was in the finance sector.
He was in the finance sector.
A little bit.
A little bit in the finance sector.
I don't remember that on your CV.
I'm moving on. Okay, Wavy1 asks, can Slayer monsters have their drop tables improved? And I think that sort of opens the question of should we do drop tables on lots of monsters? Should we start looking at them perhaps?
Well, I'm always fond of rewarding Slayer.
Yeah, definitely. I think John's written a lot of the. In fact, John's written every drop table that we've done recently. So yeah, I guess that's another job for John.
Oh, you did the thieving chests.
I did the thieving chests, so I'm responsible if they're too overpowered or they're too awful.
You're
So,
absolutely awesome. They're just right.
they're just right, apparently. Probably because I went a bit overkill, but I know people like that. So
Sweet. Okay, OSRS Daniel asks again, when will you add better rewards to randoms? 500 GP for doing a mine is silly.
I would rather burn randoms, to be honest. I think that's a better reward.
It's
Yeah.
quicker.
But burning's an easier escape. I think we should hang, draw, water, shoot.
Or make a zoo. Just a zoo where they all retired to and got put in a cage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Ben the other day, one of the macro guys, and I said, right, okay, random events. Can we get rid of combat random events? And he said, yeah, they make no difference whatsoever. So I think we have to look at random events in the not too distant future about their life within
Yes,
Old
please.
School.
And the combat ones are the easiest to get rid of as well, because we don't have to make reward items available anywhere else.
Yes.
They don't have any unique reward items.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem with getting rid of them. So we'll do something with randoms, I'm sure, in the not too distant future.
Everyone's saying get rid of randoms. John's applauding.
We stick them in a room, right, where you can just shoot them, like Frumsco and zombies under the Wizards Guild or something, and make them give really good XP, so you can just grind on them and take your revenge or something.
Yeah, so all the XP you lost is what you claim back by killing them.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll go for it.
New
Sorted.
Slayer monster.
New Slayer monster.
Sandwich lady.
Save task, random
God.
event.
Oh, yes.
No.
I like it. Okay, there you go, we're doing it.
The old people's home. I like that.
Yes, I like the old people's home. I always wanted to attack the drunken dwarf. I don't know why, but I felt the urge always to attack the drunken dwarf.
I had this idea when I was writing Love Story for when you were going through the dungeon and you needed to get something to deactivate all the traps. In the eventual quest, you make a little crash test dummy and animate it and send it through the dungeon to trigger the traps. But my original thought was that you'd use the drunken dwarf, and you'd have to get the sandwich lady's baguette and attach it to him somehow to make it like a sort of remote control aerial, and then you could kind of control him with this magic aerial that he'd be receiving signals from to go through the dungeon. But I didn't do that in the end. It's probably for the best.
Can't imagine why. No.
Yes.
Okay, next question. Moving on quickly. Chris X431 says game filter ?
I think
sorry,
we've already discussed that.
What was the
Have
question?
you?
now?
Have you already discussed that? Okay. We've already
We're
discussed that.
talking about this one for spammy game
Yes,
messages. Yeah. I've already said in this stream that we've got the engine support needed for it. That went live today, and that means we can now deliver our side of it in a forthcoming poll.
Beautiful, beautiful. This is probably one for John, actually. A person 2343 says, when can we expect the degrading rune crafting pouch bug to be fixed?
Where's he going?
While John walks around
He's
too
walked off.
with his sunglasses on because it's very bright.
I'm still investigating that bug because it doesn't happen when your pouch is at all of its stages. It's a very weird one, but we're looking into it, and as soon as we've identified what it is, well, as soon as I've identified what it is, Ash will probably fix it.
Yeah. So more information on that, basically. Send in lots of bug reports if it's happened to you when. Very specific information by the sound of it.
Yeah, basically, if you've just repaired your pouch, it probably shouldn't work because that's what I found. But it's at various different stages. Okay. Yep. Bye.
That's it. It's a pleasure, as always. Okay, TryMeIO97 says, oh no, we've done that, new clue scroll
Do you not
reward.
try
just
and
spent some time
learn the words before you read them out?
No,
You
that's
print
complicated.
these out a few hours in advance.
Yeah, I don't get a chance to read them. I have to come down here and make things work, usually straight after I've printed these out. Could you please add report interface options to notify you of offensive names and games of chance? That's from Orion Dave. I think the answers to that is offensive names, you can report them straight away under offensive language, that's easy peasy, and games of chance, you can report them under item scamming, and we'll pick them up from there, so that's not a great drama.
Doesn't really matter which category you report them for. It all goes to the same people, and they will deal with it as appropriate. So don't worry if you accidentally reported someone playing, games of chance for web advertising. It will still go to the right people, and they'll still deal with it.
Cool. Frank Nunciata wants to oil up his cannon so that. Sorry, it didn't write it like that. I just had to say it.
So much innuendo this stream.
Yeah. Can we make a add-on to the cannon, a new potion that oils it up and makes it last longer on the ground?
As an add-on, I guess. Yeah.
I think I know how we could do that.
I can think of the emote I'd give it as well. Since we're on the topic of throwing out as many innuendos as we can, and Ash showing you what would happen if you rammed a baguette onto a dwarf.
Attached a baguette to a drunken dwarf.
Because that's how you attach things.
Well, I've never attached a baguette to anybody.
I think, yeah, anyway, moving on before we get very, very inappropriate and flagged.
Can we incorporate skills within construction for benefits? For example, 75 construction, 75 wood casting, plus 75 farming gives you access to a player-owned house's patch and able to grow and cut magic trees.
I
We
like
can
that
certainly
idea.
do that.
Yeah.
One of the reasons it wasn't done when construction first came out is that there was a fear that people would be in their houses all the time grinding away on like their own private tree or something, and that it would make the game completely barren because everyone was in a private house or something with a tree. So that's what wasn't done before, but if you guys are comfortable with it, then it's not hard to code at all.
Cool. Geordie Boy 11 says, how many new updates are we going to see for OSRS and how game-changing will they be?
Well, it's you guys asking for them, so you tell us.
I think the general consensus is that they shouldn't be too radically game-changing. I mean, it's all well and good us giving you a quality of life update, such as the rotate camera, which in effect you could argue is game-changing, but in terms of the content of the game, not much has actually changed. But as we said, if everybody decided they did want Soul Wars and everybody voted in favour of Soul Wars and we did Soul Wars, no one could really complain on us for changing the game too badly because you're the ones that voted for Soul Wars. So that's not Soul Wars confirmed. That's me using Soul Wars as an example. So yeah, I guess you decide.
Yes, indeed. Andy Lech says, I love the OS music and I have a list of 80 titles that I like. I'm
God,
just
sorry.
wondering, Ash,
Hello.
Yeah, it's best if you say
how
this.
much of the music you've had a part in yourself?
The only tracks I've added to Old School were Gnome Village Party, Nether Realm, Beneath the Stronghold, and Troubled Waters. The rest was all written by Moddy and Mod Adam, and there was a guy called Dan in the audio team around 2007 as well. He wrote Undead Dungeon and most of the God Wars Dungeon music, which is frequently people's favourite.
It's cool. Right, Numeric Matter asks, do you plan on implementing a new skill?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Sailing.
Sailing.
Again, it depends. It depends entirely what you want. It's a very, very, very big project, but yeah, we can add a new skill.
Yes.
Don't do it in a few days.
Yeah.
Well, he might be able to. We just have to program around these parts. And I think we know exactly how long it will take us to implement sailing.
Yeah.
Excuses.
Right, Numeric Matter, last question. He says, off-topic question to Jagex Reach and Jagex John C. Let's wait for John to come
Okay,
round.
we wait for John again.
He asks,
Ashley's actually going to give up his seat for this.
do you lift?
That was worth losing your seat for.
So what's that question?
Do you lift?
Yeah, actually.
Yes, I do.
What do you lift?
How much do you lift, I suppose, is the point.
I don't know. I go to the gym quite frequently. I've been going even more frequently recently.
I'll go past
As
the
you can
gym.
probably tell. But
I don't go to the gym. I just do it at home. I've got my little weights.
yeah, is this whole I can bench press a house sort of online sort of thing?
I have no idea.
Well, we
I don't
we
know,
went
yes.
bowling last week. I think your max speed was like 21 miles an hour.
Yeah.
My highest was 19. I
Yeah.
think Matt.
That was 19.
I got over
like,
3, I think.
you bowled it into the ground when you did that. That was quite incredible.
That was very cool.
I was upset.
But yeah, that is quite an off-topic question, isn't it?
Although saying that, when we walked into that bowling alley, Dan was very confident that he would wipe the floor with us, as he does this all the time, and the other three of us hadn't really bowled much. And Dan didn't roll a single strike in those 2 games.
I was robbed. 9, 9, 9, 9, 8. Where was it? Is injustice?
We all got 3 strikes each over the course of 2 games, apart from Dan.
Oh God, yeah, karma really was a bitch to me that day.
So I think we've hit 6 o'clock, so I think we probably ought to say goodbye. I have to tell you about our stream tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Lord Kirk is going to be streaming with us. From what I've heard, he's quite cool and he plays guitar as well, so he will entertain you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, an Old School stream, which will be great. Yeah, someone's got to run off and turn it off now while we sit here and pretend to... so I'll tell you what, we ought to plug the Twitter accounts, haven't we?
Yeah, before John clicks any
Yeah.
buttons.
Yeah. So, I've got to do it. So yeah, you better plug your Twitter accounts.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, as you know, we all have Twitter. We all tweet an awful lot. We also leak a lot of our upcoming updates. So, if you want to get, ahead on the times and just generally see what the hell we're up to, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm at Jagex John C,
I'm at Jagex Reach.
I'm at Jagex Ash.
and that's at Jagex Matt K.
We do tweet an awful lot. In fact, I tweeted a picture today of the new Chaos Elemental pet and my mod bank because people asked for that.
And I-
So,
Really?
yeah, somebody asked in my mod bank.
Mine's just full of things I took off bots.
Yeah, I got quite a lot of that as well. So yeah, follow us on Twitter, and I guess we'll see you next week or tomorrow because I don't know what's going on tomorrow, but a live stream's happening tomorrow apparently.
I think it's just a guest live stream. We're not.
Oh,
here.
okay. No,
we're not
in that.
welcome.
No, no one did tell me about that. And I wait for Matt to say it's over.
Thank you.
Right.